Welcome back. It's a quiet Sunday afternoon down the farm. We're in the shack. We've got a good, easy 4 hours to get some work done and get a video made for your entertainment. Yeah, I keep flipping between lots of little jobs, as you know, and lots of projects, but let's not go there. Frank will be back soon. I haven't got rid of him for anyone that's wondering. Yep, he's just having a rest. I'm getting some inspiration. There's some things I need to do to him. We're trying to work out some more space as always. It'd be nice to get all my projects together because then we can do it. But anyway, let's not digress. Today, what are we going to do today? We're going to fit the charge cooler radiator back on the grill. The brackets have dried. We may sort of finish up welding up the subframe we made to hold the radiator and get a bit of paint on that. I'm going to flip between doing little jobs, but also I'm thinking let's concentrate on trying to get this thing running. Do the jobs that need to be run. So technically we don't have to mount the fuel tank, but it'd be nice to get that mounted just so it's a bit simple. Fuel lines, work out those. Yes, we could jury rig them and stuff like that, but we're sort of doing a middle ground. You know, I could just use an external tank and whatever. But yeah, we don't need to plumb the charge coolers up just to get the thing started. They just need to be sort of connected up so there's airflow through everything. The same as the air filter, same with the exhaust and things like that. Okay, the exhaust don't need to be done, but it'd be nice when it starts that we can actually hear what it's going to sound like, because those exhaust lengths are going to make so much difference in noise. And yeah, so the fuel lines are the main thing. Worth having a look about the clutch. I'm trying to find the bits. I did find some bits the other day. You know, I remember I said I lost them. They're actually under my cardigan in the driver passenger seat. So I found some of the bits. Because yeah, again, as soon as the engine's started, what we really want to be able to do is test the clutch as well and things like that. So yeah, it's worth, because obviously when we've got a flywheel on it as well, so we need to take the gearbox off, we need to put a flywheel on it before this starts. Don't really know what would happen if you started an engine without a flywheel. Would it even run? Wouldn't run, because the starter motor connects to the gear that's actually on the flywheel, so you wouldn't get anywhere. But if you didn't, it'd rev quite well, wouldn't it? All right, time lapse of me fitting the radiator back on and stuff and the clips, and then we'll weld up the front bits and get this dropped in and thing. Then maybe we can look at the fuel tank mount. Might even get the car up and the ramps. I've been saying that for the last few videos. Anyway, that's waffling. Okay, that's looking all right. I shaved down the little rubber mounts because we put a 3mm plate in between. So I shaved them down with the flappy pad, just so they now then clip on, so they don't actually fall off, so we can lift this whole rad up and it seems to stay together. So yeah. All right, well, let's try and get a bit more weld on the front bar and then drop this back in, keep it out the way. Okay, I wasn't going to video any of this, and I just started on it. I thought, why not time lapse it? So what I'm just going to do, I think, things are getting in my way. This all this wiring loom, all these fuel injector wiring loom, don't need any of it, as far as I know. Don't know whether I'm going to need the old ECU plugged in or not, but I'm going to see if I can try and disconnect some of it for now. Hoping I don't, but you might need it for speeders, ABS, something. I don't know. Or get even the dash to work, but we're not even worried about getting the dash to work. We'll throw another dash in one day. We're trying to keep it asleep. Anyway, so yeah, let's do that. Try and get some of this wiring loom out of the way because it's getting in the way of the dash. The only wires we want to keep is there's some wires down to the power steering pump. So it'd be nice to try and sort of keep them, just so we don't. Otherwise I would have just gone through the disc cut myself. And it'd be nice to try and get to the clutch line as well, because again, I've got all the fittings now for the clutch, I think. Okie dokie, I just disconnected it in the end instead of trying to follow it back. It does go to the fuse box, but then it's 2 wires we're running off into the injector loom for the anyway. We disconnected it and just pulled it all off, so it gets out of the way for the moment. We've still got it. Hoping to try and keep the battery in the same place for now. I don't see any reason why not, apart from things getting in the way. I need to run a clutch line all the way back. Part of me then says I should try and get to it from inside the car and then just run it down instead of going all the way to here, because what I'm going to do is chop this off, put a compression fitting on, and then run copper all the way back again. Not copper, you know what I mean, but anyway. So it's a bit longer than it needs to be, but I can get to it here, it's not a problem. And also I can check to see if any problems. I'll use compression fittings on these brass ones, because these sort of things, I've used them on the clutch lines before. Okay, they're not perfect, but the pressure's on my clutch. And worst case, you lose your clutch. And then if we prove everything works, we can change it. I wouldn't really use these on brake lines unless you're in the middle of a Amazon jungle or something. Anyway, I think I bought the right size one. That looks like it's quarter this size, and then it's 3/16 at the back of the car. But we'll figure that out as well. Right, I'll give you 5 seconds to try and guess what I've done, which I think I might have mentioned it the other day. Bit of a mistake, but we'll leave it for now. Anyone? Yeah, I've welded this radiator cross member to these 2 parts of the subframe that unbolt. So basically, they should be separate, but they're not. So we'll worry about it when we ever have to take these bars off. Yeah, we'll have to just make it boltable, onable. Well, I've run out of paint. Sure I had 2 cans. Don't know where it's gone. 2 can. Maybe I've used 2 cans already. All right, next job. Clutch hose, I think. Maybe have a bit of play with that. And also, let's try and see if we can figure out a mount for the fuel tank. I was wandering around the farm. Yeah, I think I already realised it in the last video about my little header tank. Yes, way too small. Could be useful for something. And again, charge cooling is all about your water temperature, try and get it down as keep it. And the best way to do that is obviously the volume of water. So having a bit of a mosey around the farm, I found this water tank thing. There's loads of them. Most of this is the best one I could find that was actually didn't have any holes in it and smashed. Not got a clue what they were for. I've used birthing, cow birthing things before, but it looks like it's got 19mm holes on the bottom. Need to open it up a little bit. But we put that in there. Look at that volume for water. That'll work well, won't it? Can't have enough water there. Monster video. Okay, because I work the agile method, I sometimes make a few mistakes. So I've realised that actually now I'm not fitting those big intercoolers. I can move the radiator forward, which I should have done this morning. I've had thought about it for a few days, been putting it off. It just gives me a little extra, sort of like an inch or so more room, and it makes the tank just fit in there a lot easier. It's just hitting the fan. I could get slimline flans and stuff like that. Flans. But yeah, we're just gonna move it forward. So basically I'm just gonna, I don't think I'm gonna chop the bottom bar. All I'm gonna do is weld on 2 new sockets to hold the rubber mounts onto. Job done. Okay, radiator moved forward. Much better. I think we're all good. Gives another couple of inches for the fuel tank, which is good. I've just cut the slave cylinder off the Mini and just put my compression joint on just to check I've got the right size. It's now leaking, obviously. So we're just gonna block that up. If I can cut it further back, I might. It's now just obviously poking exactly where the fuel tank needs to go, which I could maybe straighten it, but we'll figure something out. Okay, what I've just done for now is I've just tacked in a bit of box section to going across the 2 arms, because I think that's going to help hopefully give me something to mount the fuel tank on, because I didn't really want to come all the way to the front and stuff, so I'm thinking that's going to be strong enough. we can then put another cross piece on here and strap it down and do something with it. Yeah, may also come in handy for connecting pipes to later. All right, I think that might work. Hopefully we've got room for the battery box still to just go above there. Worst case, we move the battery box or we just lift it up a little bit. It's not a problem. And yeah, all right, we're going to break for lunch. Got a little bit of a meal deal from Tesco's, so let's go eat that and have a think. A bit all warmed up. All right, it's getting near the end of my time now, so I'm just going to do a few little things just so I can think about things. I've got the back end up on ramps. I need to sort the front end out as well, so we've done half of that. When I bought this gearbox, I just randomly buy stuff off eBay. Still worried about the crankcase sensor, but my ECU guy says don't worry about it, but I am. It came with a slave cylinder, and somebody had just cut the old fitting off. Could have left me a little bit more, would have been nice. But anyway, so trying to find a pipe like this with the flexi hose on it, couldn't find them anywhere. I found the right part number in the end, but they all seem to be a different fitting. Maybe, and I thought, well, maybe I should have bought a slave cylinder, a different one, and just to get the fitting. But I bought myself some cheap, I had some anyway, compression fittings. And so basically I'm going to try, because I'm literally like, these slave cylinders are 80 quid plus pipes, another 30, 40 pounds. So this was a couple of quid. We're going to try and wind that onto there. We can then put a bit of copper onto that, which we can then go to flexi, to the bulkhead at some point, and then copper all the way to the front. So let me just cut off there, play with this. Okay, this is what I've got. I'm going to push it on further at some point. Oh, I'll just do it now, shall I? There we go. So it's a bit close to the exhaust, but it's a good, that's fine, I can wrap it. If we get bubble in the clutch, we'll sort something out. Yeah, put a bit of force around it. So basically swinging it back around here, getting quite close. I find somewhere, I don't know, I've left a bit of excess to then clamp to, and then we've got one of these air equip fittings that I think I can flare the joint on the end of that, put that onto there. I can then, got a bit of air equip hose. Here comes a plane, and we'll wrap it around, and it sort of, it can come up onto this side, and we'll make a little bracket that then sends copper all the way to the front and joins up with the original clutch. All right, nearly wrapping up. I've just stuck the O2 sensors in as well, just before I lose them, but also just sort of see where they're going. They should obviously miss, because I think they're designed, you know, I haven't changed that area on the manifolds. I'm just looking at all the wiring. As I said, I've got the math plugged in. Not that I should believe what people write on the things, because they may think one thing's math, but whoever's written it, there's very similar connections. Basically, there's an inner math and outer math they've written. So I'm not too sure quite what they are, because I know this is a math sensor and it's plugged in, which is plugged into, it looks like top, don't know, top something. But anyway, we need to join that up, maybe the whole air box or whatever, at least definitely a pipe. And yeah, lots to do. Okay, wrapping up now, so thanks for that watching. Hopefully it was some entertainment. We're getting there in lots of little bits, and we'll get there somewhere. We'll be lovely just to hear this one. I think a lot of people just want to at least hear it start, because that makes it half alive, doesn't it? We've still got lots of little jobs to do before then. So anyway, if you like what you've seen, just hit the like button, please. If you don't subscribe, please subscribe. And if you want to help me in any way, check out the description in below. Yeah, any suggestions, leave, and whatever. Stay safe. Ooh, roast dinner for tonight. I'm going to get a chicken. Bye.